Hey voice students, I have been meaning to do this for ages, but just wanted to upload for you a easy, quick warm-up session. The warm-ups that we do in class every time you come. Pretty much have my routine down now. I do the same 5 to 10 warm-ups most of the time. Sometimes it depends on what's going on with your voice. We might switch it up and do something different, but here's the basics that we normally do together. So normally, even if it's a little later in the day, if you haven't sung, we'll go ahead and start with a hum or a lip buzz. The humming just kind of gets everything nice and warm, and then the lip buzz gets your breath moving. So let's start with a hum. The one that I like the most for that lately has been just kind of do it on a hum, and then usually we'll switch it up to an ooh when we get a little bit more warmed up. So you slide between those first two pitches like this. Sometimes sliding feels weird, but it's really good stretch for your vocal cords, especially when they're first getting warmed up. So don't be afraid to really slide up and down. Doesn't matter if you hit all the notes in between, just get everything nice and warm. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. So don't be afraid to really slide up and down. Doesn't matter if you hit all the notes in between. Just get everything nice and warm. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. Back down now. Let's switch to an ooh. So it'll go ooh, ooh. Nice and light still. So that's the first one. Let's go ahead and do the lip buzz. If you have trouble doing that, some people have trouble getting their lips going. If you'd like a tip, kind of tuck in the corners of your mouth and just move this part of your lips. So, looks so crazy on camera. If you try and do all of your lips, it's too floppy over here to kind of keep things going. You can do it, but it's harder to keep going. So you kind of tuck in the sides like something is sour. See how they're tucked in? Anyway, if you would like to perfect the lip buzz, please go ahead. I've been unconsciously doing it many years. So you may be able to do it without even thinking about it, but if you can't quite get it, there's a tip for you. If you'd rather though, you're more than welcome to do the same exercise on a tongue trill. You basically just do a roll your tongue like you're saying burrito or something like that, but you're just doing the and you can do it on a pitch. It's a bigger muscle to move than the lips, and it's a little bit harder for some people, so it's an option though. You can also just do it on a Z. If both of those options, number one, lips, number two, tongue, are like a no-go for you. We just want some sort of air resistance to keep things a little bit more activated. Get your diaphragm and your lungs kind of going, because your lips or your tongue or your teeth are resisting that air, and you're having to create air pressure and airflow. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm gonna do the lip buzz because that's what I'm used to, but you choose your poison, if you will, how you wanna warm up. Okay, so here it is. We're gonna do 3 times in a row. So it'll sound like this. And then we'll go up and do it again. Okay, so I'm gonna do it without stopping now. Go ahead and join me. Ready? that you have to stop and scratch because that really, vibrates your whole face. And it makes it itchy. But it really activates and moves around all of those resonant sinus spaces in your skull. It may sound a little weird, but we all have, places that our sound resonates inside of us and then comes out our mouth. So that's a good thing. I went up to a high G just then. If for some reason that's too high for you, feel free to drop out and jump back in when it's comfortable. I'm going to head back down the scale now. Same thing. I think I'm going to switch to a tongue trill just so you can see that as well. So here we go, back down the scale. Works out the mouth for sure. Then I like to go to something a little bit more resonant, a little bit something nice and legato or smooth to sing. And my favorite one is, and I just sing it on ve, va, ve, va, ve. The last two are vo, vu. If it's hard for you to change the vowel, you can just stay on ve, va, ve, va, ve all the way to the end. But I'm going to go ahead and add those last two vowels in. So we're getting o, a, u, most of the vowels. Ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, vu. Ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, vu. Ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, vu. Ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, vu. Ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, vu. Ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, ve, va, vu. Viva, 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 viva. About this point, when I get to around an E in the upper register, I like to switch my vowels from ve, va to va, ve. The end is still the same. It's just a little easier to start with a tall vowel on the higher notes because we're starting on our high end. So let me show you what that sounds like. Sing along if you'd like to. I'm going to keep on going up a few more notes and then we'll head back down the scale. That's for you, please don't feel bad. Just drop out when you need to, jump back in when you can on this warm-up, okay? Let's turn back around. We're going to stick with va, ve, va all the way down instead of switching back. Okay? All right. so I just ended there. My lowest note was the low A below middle C, and my top note was the high A above middle of the staff C. If you don't know how to read music, just trust me. So low A to a high A. It's about 2 octaves, so that's a pretty good medium speed warm-up. You can sing most of what you may be wanting to practice with those 3 exercises alone, and a lot of times that's all we'll do, especially if someone comes into their lesson and they've been up since 5 this morning and they've been talking all day, or maybe you've already been doing a little singing before your lesson, and so we just need to kind of get our calisthenics in, make sure we're in fit fighting shape before we start to work on our music, or sometimes called repertoire, which is the French way of saying that. It's very fancy. You're fancy now, if you didn't know, now that you're doing voice. You're fancy and you're a little bit odd because singers are strange, but welcome to the club. Me too. I'll leave you with those 3 basic warm-ups, but I do have some other more advanced and or just a little bit more technical exercises I'd love to show you in another video if you want to get into that and maybe just have a little bit more of a workout, a vocal workout before you get into some really difficult literature. Sometimes the opera or Broadway songs that you may be wanting to work on, even pop music sometimes will have a lot of big leaps or just something really intense like with the breath. You've got long phrases. So it's just like working anything out. Your voice is a muscle. So the more you can work out your voice muscle with your breath and your diaphragm and everything working together, we're getting the system going and getting it not just warmed up, but getting it sort of trained for what it's getting ready to do in the songs. So I know sometimes it's like, I just want to get to my music. Totally get that. But don't neglect your instrument. Go ahead and take time and warm it up. And if you have time, do this little 10-minute warm up, then do 5 minutes of something really technical, and then you'll be ready to sing just about anything you want to work on. If all you have time for is a warm up and that's all you do that day, still really good for your voice. Really great practice on just keeping things fit, keeping your voice in fighting shape, and living to sing another day. I think it's a great habit to form. So if you have been warming up with me for a while in class and you haven't really known how to do it on your own, this is a great resource for you. There's also a great app I want to recommend, and it's not a sponsored video or anything, but appcompass.com is an app that actually plays the exercises. A lot of them are the same as what I just played for you, or really similar. For you, there's a piano. You can adjust the speed. You can adjust the note that you start on. It's a free app. They do have a wonderful subscription service, but the exercises for warm-ups are free. So I believe that's available for Android and for iPhone. But I'll link it down in the description if you wanted work off of an app rather than a video every time. Have at it. I think that's a great way to kind of build your own warm-up. But this is a good starting place if you don't have a warm-up routine, or if you'd like to just do the warm-ups that you're used to doing in class with me. I think it's a great place to start. All right, happy singing, and I'll see you next time.